Welcome to the Crown Heathens podcast, where we talk about video games, video game news, and just about anything else. My name is Matthew, and as always, I'm here with my best friends Marissa and Sacco. Now, I'd like to remind everybody there are no stupid questions, so I'm going to start us off with a question right now. Marissa, what is today's topic?
All right, so I kind of want to make things a little bit spicier today. So I want to talk about the games that you could not finish, no matter how many times you tried and no matter how hard you tried to finish them.
I love that idea. I don't know how many spoilers I can get into this episode, but I will try my darndest.
I mean, I can start with one.
Hold on.
So
just really quickly before you do, I just have one question. Marissa, what's a game you can finish?
All right. So I might actually get a lot of hate for this one, but I could not finish Skyrim.
Really?
I've never started Skyrim.
Well, hold on.
Never start. Whoa, that you went a whole other level. Like, at least I tried.
No, I didn't even bother turning it on for the first time.
Did you buy it?
No. I might have. It's possible. It could be in my Steam library. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely bought it because it seemed like everything that I would love in the world because I love Dragon Age, I love RPGs, like it was just right up my alley. I think I've started that game 20 times. Like the opening cutscene, I can probably quote word for word once it starts. Oh, you're awake. Like the whole thing, dragon chasing you through the town. I got it. I've done that 100 times. It's all good. I always lose it at different points. I've gone further in sometimes than others, but basically, like, after I get to, like, the first couple, like, kind of villages or towns you're supposed to run into, like, I don't know if I just lose focus. I don't know if I lose track of stuff. Like, I just never feel like it's that urgent to do anything at all in this game. Like, it never feels that important to get anything done. It feels too vast and like I could do whatever I want. And then I'm just like, okay, I'll do something tomorrow. And then I never pick it up again.
I definitely know what you mean. Just because like, even like, I don't even know what the main, I've played that game. I'm not going to say I beat it. Cause like, can you beat Skyrim? I don't know. But like, I've played it. Like I put a lot of hours into that game. I don't think I can tell you a single thing from the main quest.
That's like, my thing is I just like
same.
I don't know. And maybe like, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but like in the comments or something on Instagram or something. But like, if I need to give this game another try, like, did I not do it right? Do I need to focus on something? Like, I've tried really hard to like this game because I feel like I should, but it's just never happens.
It's a weird. Now that you mention it though, like I never really thought about it before, but now that you mention it, it's like there is a main story, but then there's also like I stumbled onto like the mage side quest. If you can call it a side quest, and like there's like quests in that game that have their own endings, kind of, where it's like you go and like there's a chain of quests, and then after the end of that quest, there's like a little mini, like it's kind of fulfilling, and then there was like a different, like there's a bunch of mini quests, but I don't see like I've never completed the entire quest, so it's kind of just like a game of side quests.
Yeah, but like there is a main story, right? Like there's something main to get through.
Something happens. Now that you mentioned it, I haven't played that one either. Add that one to the list.
we've all never finished that one.
At least I'm not alone.
Go ahead, Sacco.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen like the opening cutscene on Reddit 800,000 times because they were.
Hold on, you haven't even played Skyrim?
No.
It's been released on like 7 different consoles. Like, how have you never even?
I believe you. I don't know. It was.
I think that's a bigger. I think that's a bigger problem.
We're on the same page here. Neither of us have really finished Skyrim, but we definitely tried.
We definitely gave it an effort. Like I gave it. Like I've created 20 characters in that game at least. Like I've given it a solid. Every once in a while, I'm like, do I play Dragon Age again? No, I'm going to play Skyrim. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get really into it. I'm going to love it. And then I don't.
I've asked people about Skyrim. Like, back in high school, if someone else played Skyrim and I knew they played Skyrim, I'd ask them about it. And the answers they gave me never sold me on the game. They're like, I was like, what do you do in Skyrim? It's like, well, you like run around and you like yell at people and then
the
like
worst description is
and,
you
like you
yell
magic,
people.
you like chase a dragon and you kill a dragon. I was like, that sounds
like nobody's played Skyrim.
it sounds like a
Okay.
mess. It sounds like a mess.
Has anyone ever actually played Skyrim? Maybe we've all been lying to each other.
Maybe.
I have a couple different ways we can turn from this, because that's a game you just really couldn't get into it, and I feel like the game closest to me and like you, I feel like I might get a lot of heat for this.
Okay, I'm excited.
You're like, I feel like you thought Skyrim was controversial, but I get what you mean. Like, it's a very, very big world, so it's hard to focus. I couldn't finish The Last of Us. I've bought it twice on the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4. I got to the same.
So you paid for this game twice.
I gave them my money more than once.
Matt.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And like, it was like that thing where it's like I bought it for the PlayStation 3. I played it for a little bit. I just the gameplay was just not there for me. Like, I think it was like, I get that it's a post-apocalyptic world and like you're supposed to be feeling like, oh my god, I only have one bullet. Like, I really got to make it last, kind of thing. But it was like, I just never really got into it. And then that was on the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 4 came out. Everybody's talking about it. Won Game of the Year. They remastered it. It's like every single time somebody talks about the PlayStation, they're like, oh, have you played The Last of Us? And I'm just like, all right, I'll give it another try. Got even less into it the second time. Like, the first time I feel like I made progress, and the second time I played a little bit and I was like, I'm not doing this. I don't.
This one has offended me a little bit personally,
that's what
but
I'm
like
saying.
I want to help
common.
you through it. So how far did you get? Do you remember?
There was zombies.
Okay, that is not so descriptive, but you did make it through the first cutscene then.
I watched the first cutscene, and spoiler alert, I told you I'd spoil, and I'm going to spoil the first cutscene for The Last of Us. I think his daughter dies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
which actually shocked me, just side note, because I had seen a lot of like trailers for it. I was like, there's a little girl in it.
Yeah.
And then his daughter died. I was like,
different
little girl.
Different little girl. Daughter. I got to the point.
Like, are you still escaping with Tess?
Oh, I don't even know who Tess is.
I mean, you meet her directly after the opening cutscene.
I believe so. There was a school bus, maybe.
A school bus?
Is there a school at the beginning of the game?
No. I don't
remember
there being
Did I play The Last of Us?
There is a part where you go through a school bus. You're actually escaping with Ellie, and as you come out the other side of I'm pretty sure it's a school bus, but it's like broken down.
Yeah.
And then as you come out the other, I think that's a scene, if I'm remembering correctly. It's some sort of vehicle that you end up going through, and then it's one of the reasons that you have to actually like, because they don't show. I think that's where they're supposed to show up for the drop and like to take Ellie, but they end up not being there or something.
When do you learn that she's immune? Spoiler alert.
Like pretty, like right away actually, because
I remember
like
that, and I don't remember if I got spoiled.
Fireflies tell you, right?
Who are the fireflies?
So you've remembered no details about the game, but you remember very specific scenes.
Like the game, like I was playing and I was like, I don't want to hold
I
the
just
controller
really
anymore.
want you to play. I really
it.
want you to play The Last of Us Part 2. And so I'm very dedicated to making you get through The Last of Us.
I mean, I have it. I think, you know how committed I am, Marissa? I think I re-downloaded it. I deleted something off of my 500 gigabyte PlayStation 4 to re-download The Last of Us.
All right, so now you just got to play it.
It's not going to happen. I'm a PC gamer now.
Okay, so I will tell you something, and I mentioned it in a previous podcast to you, and it did intrigue you. So maybe this is why you've re-downloaded it. There is a scene in which it is the most beautiful scene in the entire game, in my opinion, in which you just see like zoo animals wandering through.
Is that the first one?
Overgrown city. It's in the first one.
In the
I
first
remember
one,
you telling me about this.
And I I need you to see that. Like I
will
really
YouTube it
do.
after this.
Do not YouTube
half
it. I
an
will
hour,
kill
I
you.
will
I'm gonna
experience
end your
it.
life.
The Last of Us, but with giraffes.
But with giraffes.
Is it a giraffe?
There needed to be 100% more giraffes. Yeah, it's interesting that you didn't get through that game because you like zombie games.
It doesn't play like a zombie game.
It doesn't. It truly doesn't. I don't know. I also didn't love the like hoarding ammo aspect of it because I am a very much let's go in guns blazing kind of player. So I was able to do that quite successfully. So I feel like that shouldn't have been an issue.
Thing, though. Like it wasn't just the ammo hoarding. Like it was just the way. Like I feel like even when I did save, like so there's a very I wouldn't say similar game, but like the dynamics are kind of similar. At least in my opinion, because maybe I was playing them at the same time. But there's a horror game called The Evil Within. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of it.
Definitely finished that
played
one.
it.
The ending, oh my god, phenomenal. I would not recommend it if you're not into horror games. Marissa, not for you. But it's absolutely phenomenal. But it's like that same thing where it's like you have one bullet and then like you can find gears and like make like there's like crafting. So you kind of have to like find like spare parts. I think if I'm
similar to Last of Us, yeah.
So I think what you need to do actually, Matt. Okay,
Yes.
so here's my actual prescription. You need to get further into the game because you haven't got to where the hoarding matters yet.
But I felt here's the thing. I felt like even from the very beginning, it already mattered, and I feel there was no payoff
because they do it. They kind of impose it on you early in the game, so you're used to it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually matter yet. Like it's not actually affecting how you specifically play the game. Like whether you have enough material to craft a bomb, and so you can get rid of things that way, or if you need to, come up with a different method or strategy or something like that. Or are you going to run in guns blazing? Do you not have any ammo? Do you need to use like a crowbar or a bat? Like that kind of stuff, or do you want are you gonna build a bed and put nails on your bat so it's like more damage, or like that kind of stuff doesn't really matter in the first bit. It's just kind of them showing you like, hey, you can build a bomb, and here we're gonna force you to build a bomb, and like you're gonna run into material to like specifically make a bomb so that you can do this. But like it really opens up as you get out of that like first city.
Mm-hmm.
And start traveling with Ellie. Like that's when the game really starts for me. So I feel like you need to get to that point.
How far into the game was that? How many hours would you say? If you could like it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Basically, I feel like I've played like 10 hours of the game.
I think you need to get to 20.
Really?
Get to 20 and then I'll let you give up on it forever and Google the ending.
So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now in this podcast, I'm going to say maybe I'll give it a try.
Okay.
I'm going to parentheses that with it's not going to happen. I will try. I won't, but I'm going to say that I will.
I have more faith in you than you have in yourself. And I know when I ask you in a couple of weeks during this podcast, you will feel the pressure to not respond with, I haven't even tried it yet.
But I have tried it.
And I'm going to call you out. I am going to call you out again because third time's a charm, man. You're going to do it.
All right.
You're going to do it.
I'll leave The Last of Us there.
Okay.
And I'm going to mention another game that I feel like will piss you off just as much.
Oh, excellent. I'm so for this conversation.
Wow. I don't know how many levels there are, but I got to the second part of the world in Cuphead. And then I never touched it again. And I never will touch it again. It's in my Steam library, and that's where it's going to stay.
You cannot sit here in this podcast, Matt, and tell me that you're not going to play Cuphead and The Last of Us. They're very different games, very different style of games, very different like game genres. But you're not going to get away with both. Like you can choose one. I'm gonna give you an out right now. You can choose one.
The amount of hours I put into Cuphead, absolutely stunning, beautiful. I can watch that game forever. I will never touch that game again.
It's infuriating.
Okay, then you have to play The Last of Us.
Not going to happen.
No, Matt, that's not That wasn't an option.
Here's the thing.
You pick one.
Here's the thing. I know that maybe if I tried again, maybe I can get into Cuphead. I have spent so many nights, like literally start playing at like 4 p.m. and like playing until 4 a.m. Zero progress. Like I'm not going anywhere. Like it's not happening.
The next time I'm in Toronto,
I will sit down and watch you play the
No, you
single
won't.
version of Cuphead,
No.
and I will love it.
No,
No. You're gonna be Cuphead. I'm gonna be Mugman.
There's zero way.
Nope.
There's 100% chance. I will drag you through each level.
Here's the thing.
You can survive 5 seconds, and I will drag you through the rest. But we're
Somebody
doing it
will be Cuphead
because you need to
and
experience
somebody
it.
will be Mugman, and
And that somebody will be you.
It's definitely a game. I would like to see where it goes, and like I like the universe, like the whole idea of like, oh, made a deal with the devil. Now I'm gonna shoot people with my fingers. Pew! I don't know if you've seen my computer, but I literally have a Cuphead air freshener on my computer, and like it's years old. It doesn't smell like anything anymore. It's not freshening any air, but I just like the it's
aesthetic.
Cuphead on one side in the plane, and then when you flip it over, it's Mugman. So you have Cuphead and Mugman on the plane, just like spiraling around my computer. I'm never gonna play the game again.
1, I love this. 2, is there something that like there's like a innate need for gamers who haven't finished a game to have like things from the game? Because I have a Skyrim map that is on my wall and I love it. But I've never played, like I've never beat the game. It completes the room. It's perfect.
I'm not gonna
I can't remove it. But every time I look at it, I'm like, didn't finish it. Still gonna leave it up. Still gonna feel no guilt about it.
Look
like
at all
what
this
could have
land
been?
I didn't explore.
Marissa, I love my little Cuphead Mugman. I love my little Cuphead and Mugman air freshener that like spins around. It looks really cute. I'm not gonna take it down, which means I can't finish the game. I just gotta move on. You know, cut my losses.
Oh man, I can't believe that one.
I remember, I think I got stuck on the dragon. Like, I think
the dragon was a bit of a bitch.
I mean, they're all
the dragon was a problem.
Way.
I thought
but
the carrot
every
was
one
hard.
of them.
That's the first one.
Oh yeah, I did not think the carrot was hard.
It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
Like it still took. I don't know. I just not for me. You know.
It just sounds like you need to get good.
Well, on that note, Sacco, what's a game you've never finished?
I didn't finish Watch Dogs, the original Watch Dogs.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't by choice. I could not. I literally could not play the game because I bought it at release, and at release, Ubisoft was having issues with specifically AMD graphics cards in PC because I did buy it on PC, and I could every time I tried to play the game 4 times. I tried 4 different times, and the first cutscene, it would always crash on the exact same spot. I tried like 3 different workarounds. I had to like uninstall my Bluetooth drivers. Like I had to do a whole bunch of stuff, and I could not get past the first cutscene. So then I was like, screw it. I uninstalled the game, and then they eventually fixed it. But by then I was already been playing something else. How many times?
Like, was it like a weekend and then they fixed it, or like was it like a couple months?
It was like I think it was a couple weeks.
Okay,
because they were working on it for a while.
That could make or break a game. Like
yeah,
I understand. Like
yes
bugs.
And no. Like at the time, AMD wasn't very big in like the graphics card world. Like Nvidia was pretty much dominating at that point. It was almost like the height of Nvidia's like market share. So it wasn't that big of an issue for them, really. I don't really think they lost a lot of sales because of it. But yeah, I physically couldn't play the game, and then I never got around to reinstalling it. So
you have the game still?
I still own the game, yeah.
And they fixed the issues.
Oh, I'm sure they have. Even then, I have an Nvidia.
I was gonna say I don't even think you have an AMD graphics card anymore.
No, I upgraded since then. So
I think you should play it.
I probably should. And it was one of those things, like it was on my list of like Steam games, which is why I played The Witcher like last year, because I bought The Witcher 3 like a year or 2 years ago, and then it just sat in my Steam library until I had time to play it. And I'm sure Watch Dogs is going to be the same thing. And then I'll finish Watch Dogs 1, and then I'll end up buying Watch Dogs 2. And probably loving it. I mean, like what I saw of the game looked really cool, and like the little bit I did get to play was like fun.
So you have no reason to have not finished this game, is what I've heard.
Well, I mean, my reason was by the time they finished it, I had already
Like 2
started
weeks
other
later,
games.
I started playing a different
Oh
game. I
my
can't
gosh,
play
you were that impatient?
I can't, Marissa, I can't play The Last of Us anymore. I started a new game. I can't go back to it.
I know, I can't deal with that excuse. Sacco needs to play Watch Dogs, and you need to play The Last of Us.
I have a real reason why
Oh, no.
I never finished a game.
Oh no.
Not because it was too hard.
Okay.
Like The Last of Us I didn't like, and Cuphead was too hard. I have a real
Mhm.
reason why I couldn't finish a game, similar to Sacco's reason of but they fixed that reason. My reason technically got fixed. Actually I have 2. I'm gonna save that one for last because that one's like I'm really excited about that one. So
I have one too for these kinds of reasons. So I'm curious what yours is.
So I can't go a podcast without talking about Final Fantasy.
Naturally.
And I have never finished Final Fantasy VIII.
That's an outrage.
And
you call yourself a Final Fantasy fan. I'm actually offended. I could not sit here. I could not sit here as a Dragon Age fan.
All right.
Oh, no, I have to backtrack. Oh no, I've gotten myself into a loop. Okay, so I haven't finished Dragon Age Awakening.
What?
Oh my gosh, I totally I have it. And I bought it recently. So the real reason is that when I originally played Dragon Age Origins, I didn't know Dragon Age Awakening, which is it's an expansion game.
Does it have its own disc?
Which
or is it DLC? Like, can you play it without playing Origins, or do you need Origins as the file?
You need Origins as the
Marissa,
file.
That's not a game. That's an expansion pack.
Okay, but it is kind of in the like Dragon Age,
but like
in the Dragon Age community, it is kind of considered a separate game because it deals with the exact like after effects of Dragon Age Origins, so that's where it's an add-on. But you're playing as a like you're not. Yeah, I get it.
If trophies
it doesn't really count.
If trophies existed, you could get the platinum trophy, and it wouldn't say 100%.
Yeah,
that counts.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I'm not going to count that as not playing a game.
Then I'm off the hook, and I can harp on you
now
for
you
not
can harp on me
finishing
because
so how dare you?
Final Fantasy VIII had 4 discs. Did it have 4 discs or 3 discs? It had multiple discs. It either had 3 or 4. And my second disc was scratched.
Oh, okay. So I have a great one for that reason too.
Like I tried to skip it, but like if you put in the 3rd disc, it'd be like you need a save file. Like go back. You have to need a save file for the second disc. But my second disc was broken, and like I couldn't. Like at the time, I was a youth, so I wasn't buying my own video games, and I was like, "Mom, I need you to buy me Final Fantasy VIII." She was like, "No, you already have it." I was like, "It's broken." She's like, "No, it's fine."
She was like, "Try harder."
She's like, "No, it's fine. You're fine." And I was like, "No, I need it." And I was like, I couldn't. You can't just buy like the second disc. Like you need to buy all. Like, and they were kind of expensive. So I never got to finish Final Fantasy VIII.
While I do consider that a valid reason for you not having finished that as a child, why have you not bought it?
I own it on Steam. It's on my desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I also haven't finished Final Fantasy 3.
Matthew.
So here's the thing. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of Final Fantasies. I own, like on my desktop, I have like, I don't have a lot of icons, but like at the top bar, I have Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 12. Just like I own them all on Steam. Square Enix had a sale where there was just like Final Fantasy games are like $1 each, and I was like, I'm every single one, got it, own them. And I was like, I've never played the earlier ones because like I wasn't really like I was too young, like it was before my time. And then there wasn't really a way to play them for a while until they remastered them on Steam. So I finally bought them all. I was like, if I'm gonna do them, I might as well play them in order. So I started playing Final Fantasy 3. I played for about 6 hours. And like the earlier games weren't like 70 hours. Like they were still long games, but like 6 hours was a lot. Like I progressed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then my computer crashed. And then I was like,
was this before or after you spilled water into it?
That was a different time. The time I spilled a liter of water into my computer was completely different. It could have been related. We don't know. But yeah, I played for 6 hours. My computer crashed. I reopened my computer and thought to myself, they didn't add autosave features until like the 13th version of the game. So I opened Final Fantasy 3 and the opening menu opened and it was like new game. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm done.
I can't.
I'll come back to it.
Restart.
I can't play 12 hours of a game and only be 6 hours in. So I stopped for a bit. I said I was gonna go back to it, just never did, but like I'm very close. Like that is gonna be one of the next games I play.
Interesting. Okay. So the one I have that's kind of similar to you not finishing Final Fantasy VIII, although not nearly as despicable because it's not like my favorite gaming series, is so for the original Xbox, me and my brother had an Xbox that had a chip in it. So we had a chipped Xbox.
I'm calling the FBI.
Basically, what?
I'm calling the FBI.
Yeah, so basically we would play video games, but what we could do instead was insert the disc, write it to the chip, and then play it at any point in time. So we had a plethora of games to play on the Xbox. And one of the ones that was on it when we actually got the chips, because the guy who had done it had put a whole bunch of games on it, was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban for the original Xbox. And I was in love with this game. And every single time I played the game, got to the part where you're like going back in time.
It's far into the game too.
It's like at the end, like probably like an hour and a half left. You basically are going to meet, like, save yourself from the Dementors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It froze and came up with a screen that said the disc is dirty. Please remove it and clean it.
But there was no disc.
But there was no disc. And I always felt in like the back of my mind that was a little bit of the universe's way to be like,
Hey,
screw you for breaking the system. But like, come on, it was the coolest Xbox ever.
That is pretty cool. I feel like that could have been worse if it was like, okay, I'm assuming the game didn't take that much creative liberty and like it was similar to the books or the movies.
Yeah, totally. No, it was totally fine. But you just never got the satisfaction.
You never got the satisfaction, but like you kind of know. Like to this day, I have no idea how Final Fantasy. I refuse to look up a single spoiler for Final Fantasy VIII. I have no idea how that game ends. I've put so many hours into that game. I have no idea how it ends. And it's just it's mind blowing to me how like you go through life and you're like, never finished it. Don't know how
never finished it. Yeah. Yeah, I think like that was the most heartbreaking because I wanted to finish the game.
Obviously. And I feel like it is kind of a little bit of some poetic justice of like you never actually paid for it. You want children to like be
and like we used to
in good ways, so it's like don't break the law.
And this is gonna date me, but then I have distinct memories. I was going to Blockbuster and trying to pick up a version of the game, but they never had it in when we went.
That must be amazing with a chipped Xbox where like you put the disc and like it saves it, so you just go to Blockbuster.
Oh, it was so amazing.
You go to Blockbuster, you download the game illegally because you're a little pirate, and then and then that's it. That's amazing.
It was so great. Like, and I used to blow people's minds because I would be like, they'd be like, "Oh, I have like, like I was in grade like 7 or something like that when like the original Xbox came out." So like I used to talk to like guys in my class and they'd be like, "Oh, I have like 12 Xbox games. Like I have so many Xbox games." And I'd be like, "I have 150."
Like scrub, get on my level.
Like you don't even understand, man. They're like, "What? No way." Yeah. Like they're all just
That's amazing.
On my little chip.
You actually reminded me of something, and like I think about this all the time. Not in a good way. It's just like, how there's some nights when you like stay up at night and it's just like that one anxious thing I did. Like I was so dumb that one time I did that stupid thing, and I think about it all the time, and you just made me think about it again when you did Blockbuster.
Okay.
So when I was a youth, we had the PlayStation 1 and we would always go to Blockbuster and like my dad would pick us games, but it's like, I'm not paying late fees. You have to beat the game in a week. and like they didn't really have a really good like re-rental thing. Like you had to return it and then like go pick it up. Like you couldn't just like, hi, I would like to rent this out again kind of thing. Or you could, and my dad was just like, I'm not walking in, I'm dropping it into the Dropbox. Like hurry up, we're getting out of here. But I was a small child and I didn't really understand much, but we had Toy Story. Like we rented Toy Story for the week, and my brother had a save file, and like I was like, yeah, like I want to play too. So like I, when he wasn't looking, like I went on and I erased his save file on the fifth day. And like the fifth day was like a Friday, so like we were out of school, and like he came home that night and we were like, I'm almost close to the end, like I'm gonna beat it.
No.
And he went on and he was like, what did you do? And I was like, I don't know, I was just playing. And he's like, you erased the save file. And I was like, no, I didn't, it wasn't me. And he was like, I'm playing this. I was like, we have to return this Sunday morning and I'm playing it tomorrow, so you better get to the final level by tonight. And he just left and went like to go play with his friends. And then I was just sitting there like, I gotta beat it. I was like, I was so dumb, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, I didn't beat the first level. I was like maybe 5 or 6, I don't know. But I was like, I gotta beat it. And I was just
gotta beat it.
I remember to this day, like the exact level that we were on. Like I can picture playing as Buzz and Woody in the alleyway with like, there was a car and it was like nighttime. I remember specifically doing that. And then the next day, like it was like daytime and we're in the bedroom still. And it's like I can picture both screens of the level we were on and the level it reset to perfectly in my mind. And every once in a while I'll just be like,
gosh,
oh, I deleted the save file.
I deleted the save file.
I'll just think of it sometimes. It's like, oh, it just keeps me up at night. I'm like,
oh man,
my brother definitely doesn't remember playing Toy Story, but like, man, I deleted his save file.
Man, I really messed that one up.
That was on me. I should try and find a copy of that game. Should try and find it, give it to him for his birthday or something. Be like, hey, I got you this. We don't have our PlayStation 1 doesn't have the proper cords to plug into our TV, but here's the game that you can try and play again.
Oh,
I'll rate it again.
That's kind of great.
I'll wait till he gets to the level. I'll delete it.
Oh no.
I have one more.
Okay.
Unless you
I
guys
have another one as well.
All right, Sacco, what do you got?
This is kind of similar to Cuphead, like your story of Cuphead, and it was like kind of too hard to beat. I could not finish The Binding of Isaac, which is like,
is that a game that you're supposed to beat? I don't think that's a game you're supposed to beat.
Yeah, no, you get like there's a
you're supposed to play the first level over and over. No, there's only one level. You just.
I mean, I had the exact same experience as you did. You just play the first level over and over again. You get to a random boss and you die and you start again. That's
like, that was fun. That was a cool way to die. Let's see if I can find a different way to die.
But yeah, no, I could not beat Binding of Isaac. I just couldn't do it.
That's fair.
I'm sure if I went back to it, like dedicated myself for months to do it, I would get it. But like it was so hard. I don't know.
That game is a weird story too.
It is a weird story. Like you have to like kill your mom or something.
Your mom tries to like kill you. You're a baby and your mom tries to like kill you, so you have to like, fight
it's like
her.
super religious too. Like it's weird. Yeah.
That was a throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game was released in 2011.
Yeah, it was
That's
like
old.
It's like an indie game.
Yeah, it was very much an indie game. I remember, I don't know anything about this, but there was like a whole thing where like the creator of the game had like an Easter egg in the game that like he would tweet random stuff and you'd have to like get codes from the game, or like there was like an Easter egg hunt in real life that the creator did for this game. It was like a whole thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But no, it's a fun game. Don't get me wrong. I just couldn't beat it.
I've never been one.
There's apparently there's 13 possible endings to that game.
Yes.
No, there's no endings. You just replay the first.
Matt, I have some bad news for you.
Like, you play the first level and then you die. That's the game.
Yeah.
That game reminds me before we go, I did finish this game, but it reminds me of Super Meat Boy.
Oh.
Like, it's like that same style of like one level that you just constantly die until you get it. And like Super Meat Boy was like really funny. I don't know if you guys have you played Super Meat Boy?
I've played it.
I've watched you play it. Specifically, Matt, I've watched you play it, and then I was like, yeah, I don't really have.
It's weird. I like the squishies. Like you're just a ball of meat. So like when you're running, it's like
Yeah, I didn't like
so
that
funny.
part of it. Like I didn't
yeah, it's
like
weird. It's weird. It's weird.
I didn't like the aesthetic of it, which made me not want to put in the effort to be good at it.
Fair.
It does
Um,
something that the first Super Mario did, where it teaches you the controls by like forcing you to either do it or to die. So like I don't know if
Right.
you like can you picture the first Super Mario game, like Super Mario Bros, like as soon as you drop in, can you picture
Mhm.
that screen, what that screen looks like?
Yeah, of course.
We have the row blocks and then the one block above. So the way that
Yeah.
game is designed is it's physically impossible. So the first outcome you do is you're running and then the Goomba hits you and you die. So okay, the mushrooms are bad. But it's impossible to jump over the mushroom that makes you bigger. If you have an option to play this game, go back and play it. So you hit the brick, like the question mark, the mushroom comes out. It's physically impossible to not hit the mushroom because they wanted to teach you that the Goombas are bad, but these mushrooms are good. And
Interesting.
it's
I
really,
didn't
like,
know that.
It try and hit the cube and then try and not get the mushroom. It's impossible. Like they teach you how to play the game without telling you how to play the game. And Super Meat Boy does that, where it's like there's jumps where it's like you just can't do them until you double jump, or you're like, oh shit, I can do this, or like you jump on and you slide on the wall for a little bit and then you can like jump off the wall. But they never tell you. You just like have to do it. And then as the game progresses, they add like these weird spacings and jumpings, and it's like the game teaches you how to play it without telling you what to do. Like you have to die and then redo it.
So if
Yeah.
anyone's interested in here or listening or learning more about how games teach us how to play, there's actually a really great YouTube series, and we're going to leave that in the description because I actually want to make sure I get the right YouTube series, and I don't have it off the top of my head here. We'll leave that in the description, and we'll put it in our Instagram and Facebook posts about this podcast. But it's a guy who basically makes his non-gamer wife play a whole bunch of video games and then rates basically how well they teach a person how to play the game. So if you're going into a game with like zero gaming experience, basically how easy it would be for you to catch on to this game.
Interesting.
And
That's extremely
does-
interesting.
yeah, so I'm gonna leave that in the description. Definitely check it out. I thought it was really cool to watch. I can't remember all the games that he experimented with, but one of them was Dark Souls. So
Oh my
like
goodness.
that, yeah, like hardcore, but basically broke down how games teach us how to play them, and when they do a bad job, what happens. So it's really cool. Definitely check it out. That being said, I think we should transition into what we're playing right now.
Before we do that, I have one more game that I've never finished, and I've been saving
Sure.
it because I think it's gonna connect to what game we're gonna play. Maybe not now, but soon. And I will
Okay.
hold you to this. There is a little indie game that came out called Scott Pilgrim versus the World,
Oh my gosh.
and they took it off the PlayStation Store. My copy of it, I think, was broken because the save feature never worked. So I had to beat all 7 bosses in one sitting, and I just could never do it. Like I would play for hours and hours, and I would get to like usually the 3rd boss, and it was just like I am so tired, I can't do it. So I'd leave my PlayStation on pause, but like I would get a game over, and it's like it was supposed to take you to the beginning of the world, but it would just my whole game would restart.
Mhm.
And then they took it off the PlayStation Store. So I was like, I mean, like I can keep playing the version I have, but like it would always just, as soon as I got a game over, it would just immediately main menu, and like I have 0 save progress, and like my characters wouldn't level up. So like I don't know
Yeah.
if it was just my game, but like you're supposed to be able to level up and everything. They just re-released it.
Oh my gosh.
Did they add
my-
new characters to it?
So the version that they released is all the DLC packs. So technically you could have bought
Oh.
the characters before, but like the definitive version, I am so excited to play this game. Like I probably could sit down and beat the game if like I really, really tried on my PlayStation 3, but like I'm just gonna buy it. I'm gonna rebuy it. I'm gonna put so much time into this. I am so excited they brought it back. And I cannot wait for both of you to buy it so the 3 of us can all play it. And my
There's
life,
multiplayer?
there's multiplayer. There's
Oh my
4-person,
god, I'm
nice.
ready.
4-person co-op.
Nice.
Do you want to play as Scott? Do you want to play as Kim? Do you want to play as Knives? Do you want to play as Steven Stills? You can play as Ramona. Boy. Marissa,
I'm actually pretty excited.
can I sell you on this game a
That
little
does
bit
sound
more?
pretty awesome.
Can I sell you on it a little bit more?
We're already sold on it though.
depending on what character you play as. So whoever's player 1, depending on what character that player play as, the ending is different.
What?
There's 12 different endings.
Holy crap.
Okay, well that's all my shit.
My credit
right
card is
there.
out. I'm buying this game. I'm
Take
so
my money
excited. So that's a game. I saved it for last because it's a game I never finished, not by choice, but
Mhm.
I will finish it hopefully soon. And I'm also going to put that in as my game that we're currently playing. I'd like to hear what you guys are doing, but that is my game. Like I'm ready to sign up. Like I'm so excited.
All right, well, that covers Matt. So let's talk about Sacco. What game are you playing right now? And why is it still Shadow of War?
I'm getting revenge. Shadow of War has turned me into a bitter old man. I just want to watch the world burn now. I wasn't ready for the game to betray me the way it did, and now I have to get revenge. That's just how it works, I guess. So
Your tone is definitely different about this game now.
I was like, "What are you playing?" "I'll play Shadow of War. It's really fun. You go around, you get like
I'm
captains
playing
and shit,
Shadow
all this
of
stuff." 2 weeks later, they fucking betrayed me, and now they all must die.
That's a game
amazing.
that like it literally like you don't have to do 100%. Like you can skip some of the missions and just play the game, but once you play it, it's like, oh no, I'm playing the side missions. I am playing them.
They draw you into the side missions. Like, oh, I'll do like these quests later. If something happens, like, no, I have to do this quest right now.
Fuck
He
the
is
main
not allowed
mission.
to
This
walk
is my
this
mission.
earth anymore.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Marissa?
All right, so I'm still just way too into Tetris. But I'm also making my way through, and I've mentioned this a couple times now. Right now, I'm making my way through the Witcher 3 DLC. So I've finished the base game. Right now, I'm working on the Blood of Wine DLC. So there's a kind of main story to that one as well. And I think I'm nearing the end of the main kind of quest in that DLC. So I'm pretty excited to kind of wrap that up. And kind of overall wrap up The Witcher 3. Even though there's lots of quests I could dive back into and kind of complete as well. Looking forward to getting through this DLC here.
Cool.
I cannot wait until you are finished that so that we can play Scott Pilgrim together and not play The Last of Us.
There you go.
Guys, if there's any takeaway from today, I think a video game that everybody should play is Scott Pilgrim. Do not waste your time with The Last of Us. It was okay. Scott Pilgrim, Game of the Year 2021.
Or both Scott Pilgrim and The Last of Us.
Just
my vote.
Just Scott Pilgrim. If you're going to take one video game away from today, Scott Pilgrim, play it.
And The
Love
Last
it.
of Us.
Maybe.
All right, guys. Thank you, as always, for listening. For more Crowned Heathens content, make sure you check out our YouTube account. It's called Crowned Heathens. Currently, we're filming a series called WWMD, or What Would Matt Do?, in which Matt plays Dragon Age and kind of tortures me throughout the whole process. So definitely check it out. Super fun. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Crowned Heathens. And that being that, see you next time.